Tonight is like Bomer. Oh, I shouldn't really say that, but I haven't counted yet. But
Judah
didn't have in mind to count, so Bez Hashem is still Yotzi. But we are now.
You're good. How are you feeling?
With a renewed Instagram account.
That was crazy.
That's Hashem.
See,
that's the whole avoda of tonight. The we're not going to count it, but Reb Shimon Bar Yochai's special day is the opportunity to Halula, to get rid of all the dinim, to mamtik everything, to bring rachamim rabim, and Bez Hashem be zocher to everything good. Yeshua's
babies,
chamas, shidduchim, heilige kinderlech. That's one reason why we do halacha. Come sit. So we got Likutei Halachot if you want. We're going to learn Rabbi Nachman's heilige Talmid's Torah of Nosson Likutei Halachot. We're starting Shirat David as we already did last time, and in the merit of learning the Hemshech of Reb Shimon, all the way through the Arizal, through the Baal Shem, and all the way through to the Rebbe Nachman ben Feig Simcha, into his Talmid of Nosson. And we already said this. All the halachas are based on Torahs from Rebbe Nachman, and the famous beginning, the intro of Dama to Rebbe Nachman's Sefer is Lo Yishkach Mipi Zaro, Sof Tevis Yochai. So we get chizuk knowing that the Torah will never be forgotten. And we're going to start off with gedolah. The neshamas can hemshech. So gedolah Fenster Baruch Hashem should be for him as well. I had a very strong dream about him. I told him this morning that I was at a very big event, but he had a tremendous shlichus alev, and it was very much connected to what I was dreaming about and what it was. And I told him, I felt it in my dream, like in a strong way, and I said to him, the key to receiving the light of Reb Shimon is going to be, and Rabbi Nachman is the shlichus alev, which I also connect to very much. You have a broken heart, it's a good thing.
What is it?
It says, shlichus alev. Broken heart is, we learned from Rav Tzadok.
The only full heart is a broken heart?
Yeah, and that's the famous saying, but the point is that the Tzaddik can bring down, Rav Tzadok Kohen brings down, that shlichus alev. It gives you ability to connect into true Simcha. It's got nothing to do with sadness, having a broken heart. It's all to do with having a broken heart in order to be open to the truth, to the realness, to have the inyan of bittul and keser and all these panemius and yanim. You have to have a certain breaking of the ego. So he says, grateful for the quiet, says gedolah. The Zohar says, remember Reb Shimon, it's important to learn from the Zohar itself. We're going to learn again tomorrow with Rav Shlomo and also Rabbi Nachman. Please God, we'll learn tomorrow. Look at tomorrow on as well. Tomorrow's year. The Zohar says man is a miniature world. What is taking place out there is taking place in our lives. Rabbi Nachman says, if we are married, the wars will take place within our families. If we are single, the wars will be in our head. The advice is no one is safe from war. The key is let us be grateful for moments of peace. A seed for growth. We often expect peace to be constant, because remember, this is relationship flow. Part of relationship flow is accepting. If you want to be zocher to have a soulmate, which you'll daven for, you have to be zocher also Bez Hashem. Here, say this.
Tzaddik, thanks.
It should also, say again?
It's like Netsach tries to put us think you see outside the most of your life.
Yeah.
Was you all think at Atid or Avar.
Yeah.
Atid and Avar. But over never
yeah, to be present is one of the ways, the most ultimate war, to be able to be. Yeah, to be here, exactly, to be here. So he says the conflict is a constant disruption, but life is opposite. Challenge is part of the design. Its soul is shaped by inner battles within our homes, within our thoughts, within ourselves. Instead of waiting for everything to calm down, learn to treasure the quiet when it comes. These moments are gifts. They're not the absence of work, they are a breath between battles. The pauses where healing happens. Recognize peace even in small forms is the beginning of true strength. Gratitude for peace gives you strength for the next battle. We should know that it's quite likely in the world around us there might be unfortunately, a continuation of the war again is looking that way. Unfortunately, it's escalating again. So we have to thank Hashem till now for all the shalva that we're able to have. Baruch Hashem. So says Halacha Dalet. He says Pashim is gaber. You see, the beginning of the day begins with a milchama, with a war. You have to misgaber, not on your wife, God forbid, misgaber on your Yetzer Hara. Your wife, Baruch Hashem, is Kodesh Kedoshim. You thank Hashem for such a shlichus to have a soulmate. Shehu mo'oyah shachar, wake up the morning, shvis Hashem negdi Talmid. So Rabbi Nachman goes on to say, and this is all based on the Torah in Likutei and Torah Lamed. We said last time that we have to try to have a Rav who can teach us like a teacher teaches a young child. He says, "V'kol ma shehu koten, ma'ila b'yosef, kol ma shehu chola b'yosef." The more immature his spiritual level, the more spiritually ill he is. Yeah, we have to realize that maturity and ruchnius is developing yourself, growing, being someone who's a growth mindset, constantly developing the inner reality, the inner hashkafa, the way we perceive life. So then he needs a doctor. He requires the greater the Rav he requires, the more the cholei he is. So our generation requires the biggest doctor there is. That's why they call Rabbi Nachman a professor, a doctor. It's coming to heal the generation. Yeah, so Rabbi Nosson would know that, because Baruch Hashem, Rabbi Nosson knows the bechina of what it means to be Baruch Hashem, to be in a generation, because he was at the beginning of the Haskalah, and he saw all these cholei nefeshes, like people who thought they knew better than the tzaddikim, the chachomim. They started going away from Hashem Shemenu. They lost the spiritual level of being a yid in a hashkafic sense. So we have to be mechazik that nekuda. We need a bigger healer, and he was able to heal all those people. The Rav has to be so great that he's able to cure him. And this is a nekuda that you don't always get when you go to yeshiva, or you go to so many places in Torah. You don't always hear about this. He's able to explain the essential matter to him in roundabout ways, until what? He instills in him a perception of godliness. So he's able to constrict the divine wisdom into the lower wisdom. Zeh ikar tachlis. This is the main purpose of which man was created. Yeah, every human, every person was created in order to come davek to Hashem, to have deveikus, to have musagim, or to have a relationship with a Kodesh Baruch Hu. We talk about relationship flow. The whole idea of having shalom bayis is to see how Hashem is communicating through our wife, through our spouse. If you really pay attention, like the Rav Shlomo brought this morning from Rabbi Nachman, and it's a famous concept I heard from Rav Tatz, also Moshe Shapiro brings down, it's the women, bedafka, bedaika, during the Sfira, they're the ones talking to us the most musagim of Sfira. If you pay attention to what they're saying, they're kurat sona, they're tuned in to what Hashem wants. So they have already an intuit, Bina Yasera, what the Bina, the Shanun Shai Bina, what's shining during these 50 days. They're already in tune with it. So they're talking about gashmis things, physical things, emotional things, but that's really in tune with the midot of that day. And you'll see, if you're perceptive, you'll be able to perceive it. That's why it's very important to learn how to mechabed and respect your wife, because it's a way of getting closer to the flow, a divine flow that Hashem's putting into the world. That's relationship flow. So he goes on to say, Rabbi Nosson, that there in the Rebbe's lesson, we said, we already talked about this, tomorrow on 1 and 2, that a yid should always focus on his seichel, that inheres all things in creation. Attaining seichel, which is divine wisdom, gives you ability to look deep into things, much deeper, look with a panemius eyes. This is what Rabbi Shimon's teaching us on this special day. He's clarified that these conditions are hakdamas through which a person attains perception of godliness are synonymous with lower wisdom. So it's a holy and uncomplicated understanding of godliness that found in simple Yidden. Pashto Yidden like us, we can be zocher to uncomplicated Yiddishkeit. It doesn't have to be this big Vidregas, knowing all the Sfiras Adionim and all the Panemius of what it says in the Kisveri, v'chulu, v'chulu. We have Rabbi Nachman, we have Tzaddikim who brought it down for us. And what's the biggest escalas of Reb Shimon is the fact that there's Tzaddikim who can bring down the highest levels. Tonight we're going to have Rav Ginsburg saying over tremendous musagim. But the key is to try, what I try to do when I look at this forum and when I hear him speak, is take out nekudas, take out a gematria that you feel shaykh to, take out a point that he says, you can't understand everything he says. It's just not, the Rebbe Shlomo says it's impossible pretty much. Let's just be real. But you can always take a nakuda, and just by looking at Yosef Kaduna's face while he's singing, that's also, you can teach you a lot. Pashta things. Just look at this, the Tzaddik singing with Emunah, Shlema. Yosef Kaduna is one of the Tzaddikim, in my opinion, of the generation, especially in the music world. Probably the Rosh of the Tzaddikim in the music world, up there with Avram Fried. He's the person who's pouring out Emunah, the Or of Rashbi, just by his derech. I remember years, I had the shlichus to daven nates for years by Breslov in Ramat Beit Shemesh. It was a tekuf I daven nates. I haven't done it many times, but thanks to Breslov, Rebbe Nachman always pulled me into a nates matzah every so on, different times in my Yiddish I used to daven Beit Shemesh back in the day. But there was a tekuf I lived in Beit Shemesh. I used to go to Beit Shemesh Stein base, and there in that Breslov minyan I daven almost every day of Yosef Kaduna. I'm telling you, he's the real thing. I can tell you, I can testify. I watched his avodah, and this was years and years ago. Anyway, just watch him tonight and you'll see. And that's from Pashta Zach, Pashta understanding. It doesn't have to be big madrigas. Malchus Bechinas Sa'oris. And this is a deep thing. This is based on the Zohar. The Malchus is the aspect of hair. This is a Kabbalistic teaching, conceptualizing the Saras of the head as a narrow channels leading to the mind. Compare it to constriction. Lower wisdom similarly functions as a conduit for bringing down higher wisdom to the lower realm. And that's why he says in the Zohar here, the Zohar teaches, and it's perfect to learn. There's a few Zohars here actually. The shapes of the letter of the Hebrew Aleph base are not incidental, but rather precise expressions of the light of the divine wisdom, which form and measure. Similarly, each mitzvah in the Torah's expression of divine wisdom. In context here, this is synonymous with the lower wisdom, Chochmah Tata, as he mentioned before. Reduction of light for the benefit of those on the lower levels. Like the hair, the letters and mitzvahs serve as channels, constricting divine wisdom further man's perception of godliness. It's based on the Tikkuni Zohar. This highlights their connection by pointing to the etymology, symmetry between the seir and the shiur, a measurement. You have a shiur, you come to a shiur, you're getting a seir, you're getting a constricted level of wisdom from the Tzaddik, not me, from the Tzaddikim, from the Svarim, and you're getting it from them. The Zohar teaches it's possible to accurately detect a person's character and personal traits from his hair, facial features, and the lines of his fingers and hands. This is the art of Chochmas HaPatzufim, which is called physiognomy, apparently. I never heard an English word for it. Apparently it called it physiognomy. So my Rebbe, the Talmid Rebbe, when he came here, he was moded to the Sibur, and I've never seen him really do that publicly, but he said, I know Chochmas Pasufim. I know this wisdom of understanding people's faces, and he also understands hands as well. Chochmas Yadayim. He says he looked at our kehillah, and he said it's a beautiful kehillah, very good souls, very good people, and that's one of the reasons why I moved there, because I knew it myself. I don't have his madrega of Chochmas Pasufim, but I was able to see from just all the different midot and the way people are. The Be'etzim of Efrat and specifically Shirat David and Zayat are very good people, and that's a big mile. And the Rebbe saw that here, and he praised us for being like that. He speaks, the Tikkuni Zohar speaks of this as well, identifying hair as black and hair that surrounds the hair is indicative of the quality of the Malchus. That's one of the reasons why tonight's such a special day, because it's Leiv Tov. You have a good heart, that was today's Sphira, before we now count tonight's. And Tov is the 17 days after Leiv Tov, brings us to 49. So Leiv Tov is a good heart. That's the real avodah of Sphira, to come out with a good heart. And that's one of the things you look for in being around good people. It's not just Shochin Tov, Ayin Tov. You have to look for a Leiv Tov. That's the real spitz. So he says, Bechina Saras Achuma Sara Be'ugla. We're going to stop with this. We'll just end off. Two additional concepts of the Tikkuni Zohar. What's Hashgacha? We're learning all this Zohar tonight on Reb Shimon's day. The concepts of black hairs surrounding hairs, similarly represent constriction. Just as the image of large objects is reduced and constricted in the blackness of the pupil. You hear that? Do you ever look in someone's eye? You see this black pupil? That's the Indian of Gavura. That's constriction. Yeah? Divine wisdom is constricted in the blackness of the hair. The same is true of the hairs that encircle the head. They signify constriction, and indirect explanation transform divine wisdom into low wisdom. The whole thing is connecting with the new generation, connecting with the younger people, figuring out how to communicate universally, connecting with your wife in a language that makes sense to her. You don't start giving over this Torah to your wife. You give over what she's going to resonate with. Good teachers are able to do that. Bechinas choira ani v'nava, says here, is alluded to I am shacha, but And I don't mean Avram Shacha. I'm Shacha, I'm black, but pleasing, which he actually is pleasing, funny enough. I'm Shacha, but pleasing, O daughter of Yushalayim. Zeh Bechinas Avram. We're going to talk about Avram tomorrow as well, and he also brings more to Kuni Zohar here. Kuni Zohar teaches that a worthy person with black hair possesses a trait similar to the Shekhinah, namely Malchus. It was written, I am black but pleasing. Remember we said, Ma'ura the Shacha, waking up in the morning. Wake up the Shekhinah, wake it up. Yeah, we're here to serve Hashem and bring a tikkun for the Shekhinah, make a yichud for the Shekhinah between a Kudsha Baruch and Shechintei. Shem Kol Yisrael. Every morning we have to have that in mind. I am black, but in this world I manifest through constriction as lower wisdom, but pleasing, for my essence is actually divine. That's the key. Yeah, we're in tune with divine. Tikain Shachris. This is akin to the teaching of Avraham instituted Shachris, because Avraham was the one who understood the Shacha, the Shachris, the pleasing, seeking the Chayas as a Malchus, and we have to infuse that wisdom into the sphere of Malchus with vitality. You know, bringing Chiyas, bringing energy. One of the big avodas of tonight and tomorrow is to feel the chiyas of Torah. The chiyas, if you're really connected to Hashem, there should be chiyas of vitality, energy. And bring it to Malchus, bring it to the wife, bring it to the home. Come in the house and say, I'm tired, I'm out of it, life's too hard. Bring chiyas, energy to your soulmate. Bring chiyas to your children, bring chiyas to your Yiddishkeit, bring chiyas to your mitzvahs, to your kavanas, to your tefillah, energy, vitality. That's the kind of Yiddishkeit that we want to, Rabbi Nachman, Rabbi Shimon, the Tzaddikim want us to live. And Avram Avinu, who was bringing a sweetness, a pleasing energy to Shachris, to the energy, the Ayidei Or upon him, Ma'or Sholish Regolim. And through Malchus, the Or upon him, we're going to end with this, that the Or upon him, like the supernal countenance, which shines when we are joyous on the three festivals. Yeah, so this is, we'll go into this next week, but just to think about it, that today has a bechina of a Moed. And we learned from Rav Sadiq yesterday, why does it have a bechina of a Moed? Because the whole of Torah Shabbat Peh is Megalef for Rav Shimon. When his neshama went up, it was a Hilula, because all the Torah Shabbat Peh from Rabbi Akiva, all the Panemius came down at that his time. The Zohar is the awe that came into the world. And that's when you have a siyum of, we just learned Menachos, you make a siyum, you make a Yom Tov de Rabbanan, it says in Chazal. Every time you make a siyum of Torah, it's such a revelation of Torah, so much awe that came in the world, that gives us ability to attach ourselves to the Tzaddikim and to the Rav and to the Rebbe, and to bring that Torah into our vessel, into our hearts, into our life, into our homes. And that will, Bez Hashem, be the biggest Nachas Ruach to Hashem, and Bez Hashem will be Zocher to dance. Tonight, we're going to dance tonight, Bez Hashem, with Mashiach Sekenu, and we'll be Zocher to Rachamim Rabbim, tremendous mercy. The Rashbi brings down the Basari into our flesh. Everything will be rejoicing to Hashem, the whole being of Am Yisrael. Amen v'amen.